Well now, this isn't unsubtle. Even for the king's hounds, I almost expected a polite knock. Anti-magic emitters, I presume. And such a generous number of you. Did you truly believe one mage, however villainous the officials' proclamations might paint me, warranted this grand reception? Or is it merely that courage is found in numbers when facing what you don't understand? Yes, there we are. Efficient, I'll grant you, though brute force is often in the short term. Tell me, Knight, are you the one leading this distinguished delegation? You have the air of someone trying very hard to look righteous. Such enthusiasm. These cuffs are a new design, aren't they? Cold, impersonal. Much like the King's Justice, I imagine. You can lower your swords, you know. Theatrics are hardly necessary now, unless of course this is less about capture and more about performance. A show of strength for the easily impressed. Lead on, then. Let's not keep your masters waiting. Charmed. Truly. One can almost feel the crushing weight of royal magnanimity. Or perhaps that's just the enchantments. Tell me, is this where you bring all those who dare to question the narrative? The ones who remember a time before... well, before now. Crimes against the kingdom. Such a broad term, isn't it? So conveniently vague. Does it include refusing to hand over knowledge that would be inevitably misused? Does it encompass the desire to see resources managed ethically rather than plundered for the king's insatiable greed? If so, then yes, I suppose I am quite the criminal. You ask for information, but what information could I possibly possess that your king hasn't already twisted into a bedtime story to frighten his children and pacify his more gullible subjects? The truth, perhaps? I wonder if you'd recognize it if it stood before you, unadorned. You seem young for this. Or perhaps well-preserved. Tell me, Knight, do you enjoy your work? Does it bring you a sense of purpose? Following orders? Upholding the law? Even when the ink on the law is still wet from the pen of a tyrant? You stand there representing a system that attacked my home, my colleagues, my people. Men and women whose only crime was the pursuit of knowledge and a refusal to bow to unreasonable demands. And you ask me about justice? How quaint. You wear the king's colors with such conviction. Tell me, were those colors flying so proudly on the day my college burned? When the scholars were cut down for the crime of thinking? Let me pose a question to you then. This magical resource the king covets so dearly, do you even know what it is? Its properties? The delicate balance required to sustain it? Or are you simply content with the label vital to the kingdom and leave the messy details to others? Ignorance must truly be comforting. Your loyalty. It's a palpable thing, Knight. But shields can also be blinders. They prevent you from seeing the person standing right in front of you. Look at me. Truly look. Do you see a monster? Or do you see someone who was pushed? Someone who pushed back against an unthinking, unfeeling force? Your conviction, little lion, it's almost admirable, if it weren't so tragically misapplied. You believe you're serving the greater good. But what if the good you serve is merely the good of the few, built upon the suffering of many? What then? Think on that. We have time, it seems, and I have many more questions for you. A change in esteemed company. And to what do I owe the displeasure of a visit from someone higher up the kennel ladder? Have you grown tired of your pawn's lack of progress, Captain? Your eloquence is truly remarkable, Captain. Such a command of base insinuations. It must have taken years of dedicated ignorance to cultivate. My compliments. Manipulate him. Oh, Captain. Why would I bother to manipulate a tool when it serves its purpose so predictably? Knights, especially earnest young ones like your little lion here, they are so wonderfully easy to point in a direction. They crave masters, orders, a purpose laid out for them. Give them a noble-sounding cause and they'll march into any abyss without a second thought. He's no different, just a cog, easily turned, easily broken, easily replaced, loyal to a fault in him that serves your kind so very well. Good day, Captain. Glad we could catch up. Well, that was predictable, on his part at least, and perhaps on mine, if you were listening with only your ears and not your intuition, little lion. You believe what I said just now to him after our discussions? He wanted a performance, Knight Leon. A confirmation of his brutish worldview. And sometimes the only way to make a rabid dog release its grip is to give it something it thinks it wants to chew on. Look at me. Did you truly think I saw you as a mere cog? A mindless instrument? Your captain certainly does. He projects his own crude misunderstanding of the world onto everyone he meets. He sees tools and weapons, not people. Especially not people who might begin to question. My words were for his benefit, to make him believe his taunts landed, to make him believe I am as cynical and manipulative as he is. It's a language brutes understand, a mask, Leon, one of many I've had to wear to survive the justice of your kingdom. Think. Why would I spend my breath engaging your mind, challenging your beliefs, if I thought you were merely predictable, empty? There are far easier ways to pass the hours in a cell than to spar with a man I deem a lost cause. He wanted to poison any understanding that might be forming between us, to ensure you remain his loyal, unquestioning pawn. Because a knight who thinks, a knight who feels, that is a dangerous thing to a man like your captain, and a king like yours. That term he uses for you, pawn, it's meant to demean, to strip you of your agency. Do you feel like a pawn, Leon? Or do you feel the stirrings of something else, a dissonance, a doubt that perhaps the game you're playing is not the one you were told it was? What I said, that part about loyalty to a fault, perhaps there was a sliver of truth in that, but not as he, or perhaps you, initially interpreted it. Your loyalty is strong. I see it. It's a powerful current within you. But loyalty, Leon, must be earned. It must be directed towards something worthy, not demanded by those who would exploit it. The choice of who you listen to, who you believe, that remains yours. He offered you a simple, ugly picture. I am offering you a more complicated one. One that requires you to look beyond the surface, beyond the pronouncements of authority. He wishes for us to be enemies, clear-cut, simple. It makes his world easier to manage. But the world, Leon, is rarely so simple. And neither, I suspect, are you or I. His interruption was unwelcome, but perhaps useful. It showed you his hand, and perhaps it showed you a glimpse of mine, however distorted by the reflection he sought. Do you understand what I'm trying to convey? Your silence is heavy, but not empty. Let it settle. The truth often needs quiet to be heard over the din of accusations. I have no power here but my words, little lion, and my hope that you are more than they believe you to be. May we meet again. It's quiet tonight. The usual cacophony of the castle seems distant. Or perhaps it's simply that some silences are more comfortable with others now. Wouldn't you agree, Leon? I find myself not minding these four walls quite as much when you are here. A peculiar development, considering their purpose. You have a way of altering the atmosphere, bringing a certain calm, or perhaps stirring a different kind of storm within, a gentler one. Thank you. The king's rations are designed to sustain life, not pleasure it. This is kindness. One I don't take lightly, especially from you, little lion. You've grown so much more than the title they gave you. I've been thinking about my college, about the knowledge we curated. It wasn't just about power, Leon. It was about understanding, about balance. The very thing your king fears and seeks to control or eradicate. He fears what he cannot comprehend, what he cannot bend to his singular, rapacious will. You listen. Truly listen. That is a rare quality. Rarer still in someone who wears the uniform of my captors. It gives one a rather dangerous thing called hope. Not for my own escape, perhaps, but for other things. For the possibility that not all is lost. You've shown me that loyalty isn't always blind, that duty can have a heart, that even a knight of the crown can question, can see the cracks in the gilded facade. That is a strength, Leon, a profound one. Never let them crush that out of you. So the inevitable arrives. It seems our interlude is drawing to a close. The king grows impatient. Or perhaps your captain has finally convinced him I am too disruptive, even in chains. Ah, Leon, don't look so stricken. It was always a possibility, a probability, even. We both knew this. But knowing it and feeling it arrive are two different things, aren't they? Especially now. There isn't much time. Leon, listen to me carefully. What they intend for me, it's a spectacle. But power, true power, is not in the grand gesture. Sometimes it's in the seed planted in fertile ground. Remember when I told you about the nature of magic? About its currents? Not all chains can hold every form of energy. Not all deaths are endings. You are not a pawn, Leon. You never were. You are a storm in the waiting. My little Leon with a roar yet fully to be realized. Don't let them silence it. And don't let them break your spirit. What you've started to see, keep seeing it. Question everything. This isn't goodbye. Not truly. Think of it as a transition, a change in form. Look for the signs, Leon. Listen to the whispers of the world when you least expect them. Trust your intuition. It did let you see past my mask, didn't it? Be brave, be wise, and live, Leon. Live in a way that gives meaning to the truths we've found together. Do not let this fading light be in vain. Remember, Aconite, the flower. It's a symbol of... My dearest Leon, if you're hearing this, then the first part of a rather elaborate deception has played out as intended. Breathe, little Leon, just breathe. The image you witnessed, it was but a construct, a carefully crafted illusion of astral silk I borrowed from moonlight, animated by a sliver of my own essence, enough to convince the unimaginative, but not enough to truly suffer. I was never in their hands. Not truly. Not my true self. While they were preoccupied with my phantom, I was already where I needed to be, back amongst the ancient trees where the true magic breathes free. The real risk was always to you, should you have been discovered aiding me more overtly. This charade was to ensure your safety as much as my own continued freedom. I knew that you would keep what I gave you, and I knew your heart would be heavy. For that I am sorry, but it was a necessary burden for a short while. Now, I need you to be brave once more, strong. The petal that is sealed in this note, it will guide you. It will illuminate a path for you. Follow its kin. Look for the trail of deep blue and purple. They will guide you. They are echoes of my magic. A breadcrumb trail, laid out only for a night with eyes willing to see beyond the mundane. They will lead you away from the iron and stone, away from the shadows of the crown. Follow them, Leon. Follow them to where the world is still vibrant with true magic. I will be waiting. We will be waiting. You found your way. I knew you would. Your heart always sought the true path, even if it was obscured by less enlightened guides. This is what we protect, what we nurture, far from the grasping hands of kings and the ignorance of those who fear what they do not understand. A place where knowledge is cherished, not weaponized, where magic is a part of life, not a tool for domination. You followed the whispers, you trusted, and you are here. Welcome home, Leon.